Hi, welcome to Learn Tricks. Today we are going to see what is array. An array is nothing but a kind of placeholder where we can store more than one element together. What is the use of array? Or why do we need array? Let's take an example. Say suppose in a program we want to put more than one elements, or we want to hold more than one elements of type int. What we can do, we can create two variables like int num1 and int num2. So far it is good, but imagine a situation where you want to hold or you want to use more than 5, more than 10, or even more than that variables of type integer. It is not feasible to maintain those many independent variables. In order to do that, various languages has given us a placeholder or a kind of data structure which is going to hold these kind of variables in one place, which means, so suppose we have 1 2 3 4 5 6, yeah, so suppose we want to hold 6 elements in the program. Rather than using 6 independent variables, we can use one variable like this. We will call it as int or my variable. We will have some variable like this which will have 6 such slots where we can put these 6 elements, and in program we will just use to this particular variable. So this my variable is nothing but it is like a place, or it is like a data structure which can hold more than 6 or more than 1 or n number of elements in it, where n can be 0 to many elements, which means if we want to hold more than one or more number of elements, we can use this particular data structure, and this my variable is called as array. What is this? Array. So now what do we understand about array? Array is nothing but a kind of placeholder where we can put more than one elements together, and we can have or we can use only one variable of that type in the program. To understand it deeper, let's take the example which we started. So in array, if we want to put 6 or 10 integer elements, what we can do? All we have to do is we have to say, boss, this is integer type of array. So the data type of array will be integer, and by doing so we will say that all the elements that we are going to get inside this particular blocks are of type integer, which means all integer type of individual elements can be inserted into all these placeholders. So one placeholder can have one integer element, another placeholder will have another integer element, the next one will have another integer element, so on and so forth. So we can insert as many as elements we want. So suppose if we say that an array is of type some other, data type. For it is suppose of type float. In that case, all elements which are present here will be accepted as float, which means you can only insert the elements who has data type of float. What does this mean? This means that an array can accept the elements of same data type of that the array, which means if you declare an integer array, it will accept all integer elements. If you declare float array, the float array will accept all float elements. So far so good. So next thing is, what are the things that we need to understand about array? First thing is data type, and second thing is index. So what is index? Now imagine, in order to access this element, we need to know exact position. To access this, we need to know this position. So to access these elements, we need to understand the location or the position of that element inside this array, or that particular block, where this block is. So for that, we have a concept of index. Index 0, index 1, index 2, index 3, index 4, and index 5. What are they? So these are nothing but indexes of the elements which are present in this particular array. So this array holds one element at index 0, at index 1, at index 3, 4, and 5. So we call this as, suppose, index. So this is our index. Now always remember, index of an array starts with 0. Starts with 0. Index always starts with 0 and it ends with some number. Now one more thing, an array always have some length, which means how many elements you can expect that will be present in an array. Based on that, we need to initialize those arrays, which means if I know I am going to have 5 or 10 or 6 or 7 elements in an array, I am going to say my array will be of size whatever, 5, 6, 7, the maximum number of elements that I can insert. So the another important parameter is size of an array. What is size? Size is number of elements that we are expecting to be inserted in an array. So whenever we create an array, all we have to do is we have to use data type and then name of the variable array, then name of the variable, and then we have to use square brackets and size of array. So these are the generic terms that we will have to use. It depends on a programming language which particular language you are going to use, and based on that the initializations of array differs, or the declaration of array differs. The difference between the declaration is either your data type will be somewhere else, we call this as square brackets. They are square brackets. So this square brackets location will be different. There will be some other variable name or something like that, but the overall common thing is your data type, then your name of the array, then you need square brackets, and you need size of array in order to declare any array. Next thing we will think about this is how to declare a array in C. In C programming, say suppose we want to create an integer array. All you have to do is say int space my array space square bracket and size of the array. Say I am going to say 10 and semicolon. What happened? By doing this, we said that we are going to have my array of type integer and whose size is 10. In C, we declare integer array like this. In Java, in order to create integer array, all we have to say is int space my array equal to new int square bracket and size of the array. So suppose 10, and here at int you have to do again a square bracket. So this is the way to create an array in Java. All you have to do is int square bracket my array equal to new int of size 10. By doing this, you create an integer array of size 10 in Java. In C, you create integer my array of size 10. Now we know that there are two things. One, the index, and another is size of an array. Now always remember, the last index of an array will be always equal to size minus 1. Last index will be size minus 1. See, if I want 6 elements or array of size 6, why the index will start from 0 and it will count from 0 to 5. So these will be 6 places that will be available to us, which means we will have 6 elements present in this particular array. So we will have 6 elements and the last index will be 5. I hope this clears the doubt about arrays. Now in next lecture we will see how to insert elements in an array and how to declare and how to make use of an array in various languages. Thank you very much.